If I could go back to college and do things over again, I would spend my time a lot differently than I did, and I would also stop worrying about some things that I now know don't ultimately matter. College is a huge opportunity to do things that tend to get a lot more difficult to do after graduation, and the people that take advantage of these things while they're still in school end up having a much easier time when trying to enter the job market. So if you're watching this and you are a sophomore, junior, or senior in college right now, and you know the real estate industry is where you want to be, this video walks through some key actions that you should be taking before the time graduation rolls around, and some things that don't ultimately matter as much as you might think they do. So the first thing I want to talk through in this video is something that I personally struggled with a lot during college, and this is choosing a major. And even though it might seem like this is a huge part of landing a job after graduation, in my experience coaching people through this process, in the vast majority of cases, a real estate specific major is not going to be a requirement. Dedicated real estate degrees can be helpful during the internship or full-time job search, but most schools don't even offer this, and majoring in something like general business, economics, finance, or even architecture can all be sufficient to get your foot in the door. What tends to matter a lot more to real estate firms than what you majored in is the fact that you're pursuing or you already earned a 4-year degree, since this is usually a requirement for most commercial real estate analyst roles. But having real estate internship experience on your resume, having strong Excel modeling skills, and understanding real estate finance in general all tend to be weighted significantly more heavily by employers than what you ended up majoring in. And speaking of internship experience, having this on your resume is one of the biggest differentiators that I've seen over the years when new college grads are looking for full-time jobs in this industry. And the most important thing to keep in mind about these while you're in school is that an internship doesn't have to be perfect in order to be impactful. A lot of people treat internships as this all or nothing thing where they're only looking to land a structured 8 or 12-week summer internship at a big brand name firm. But in reality, any work experience that can get you on the job exposure to real estate finance outside of just your classroom experience can put you way ahead of other candidates that don't have this on their resume. Especially if you're going to school right now in a major gateway market like New York, Chicago, or LA, there are very likely going to be a lot of local firms that are looking for part-time help, and taking on an opportunity during the school year where you're working just 1 or 2 days a week can be tremendously valuable during the job search. And unlike your standard cookie cutter summer internship at a big company where you're often just passed around different departments but not really allowed to touch anything because of the lack of structure associated with most part-time work, in these roles you'll tend to do a lot more of the day-to-day activities that are actually representative of what you would end up doing in a full-time analyst role. Ultimately, regardless of whether you're working 5 days a week or just 1 day a week, the more in-office experience you can get, the more attractive you're going to be as a candidate when applying for full-time roles. And taking on internships, even if these are just part-time opportunities, is one of the highest leverage actions you can take when finishing up your degree. Now, the natural question from here is, how do I actually go about finding these opportunities, especially those that aren't advertised on job sites? And this is where the process of informational interviewing starts to come into play. As a college student, you're in a really unique situation where a lot of people are going to be very willing to talk to you and help you plan out your career, and taking advantage of this during your 4 years in school can put you way ahead of your peers that are only relying on job boards to find open positions. And the first people I'd recommend reaching out to are alumni of your university that are currently working in the real estate industry, since these people are very likely to remember what it was like to be in your shoes, and these people also have a vested interest in building the brand of the school. A lot of universities have active alumni databases that you can tap into for a list of people to contact, but even if that's not the case, just searching LinkedIn for alumni of your university working in the real estate or leasing non-residential real estate industries, and reaching out to these people with the goal to learn more about their career path and how they got to where they are today can be a great way to build relationships that can end up leading to job opportunities that aren't even advertised. Especially if you're open to the idea of part-time work, if someone likes you when they meet you and sees potential in you long-term, they may even end up creating a role for you that they weren't actively looking to fill beforehand. And at just 15 to 20 hours a week, you can be an extremely low-cost investment for a company while also gaining some really valuable experience to add to your resume. Now, if you play a sport, you're taking a demanding course load, or you have other work commitments that you have to prioritize ahead of internship opportunities, you might not be able to work a part-time role during school. And if that's the case, another way to strengthen your resume when applying for full-time jobs is to get involved with the real estate industry directly through your university. In my experience, one of the best ways to do this is to get involved with your school's on-campus real estate club. And if you can take on a leadership role within this is a really helpful way to build your network quickly. In a leadership role, you become the point of contact with local companies in your communities to set up things like site visits or company info sessions, which allows you to build relationships with people you may not have otherwise been able to get in front of. And when it comes time to apply for full-time jobs, this can make you a very familiar name when an open position comes up. Taking on a leadership role also makes it clear that you're committed to the real estate industry and you're willing to take the time and energy necessary to build relationships in this business. And by taking this on top of the commitments you already have with school, this also tells employers that you have the kind of work ethic that's going to be necessary to ultimately succeed in a demanding job. Now, everything we've talked about so far can help you land interviews in the first place, but at some point, you'll need to actually go through the interview process for an internship or full-time job. And at that point, understanding Excel and real estate financial modeling overall becomes extremely important. In the vast majority of cases, commercial real estate firms are going to be looking for interns and analysts that can take on Excel-based work that doesn't require decades of industry experience to do well, and making sure you're doing the work necessary to have these skills in place by the time graduation rolls around is absolutely necessary to be competitive for most jobs. And when you do ultimately land a role, having these skills in place will make it a lot easier to get up to speed quickly and going into your first job in the industry, knowing basic Excel functions, how these are applied in a real estate context, and how to build a basic pro forma model from scratch in Excel are all things that'll make it much more likely that you'll have both shorter work days and faster career progression in your first few years out of school. And if you want to make sure your Excel skills are where they need to be by the time you're ready to look for jobs, and you want to make sure you're ready for an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you during the interview process, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking the CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Breaking a CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on the channel specifically for people in college or grad school, make sure to hit the like button and let me know. And if you're watching this and you've already graduated, let me know in the comments anything that you did during school that helped you stand out during the job search. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.